Windsor's mayoral race heats up.
Obviously, with the campaign, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Three-term councillor Fred Francis makes a pitch for the top job. Hospital parking woes.
It's something that pains us every day.
How Windsor Regional is trying to cure the problem.
The last thing that these patients want to be doing is struggling to find a parking spot.
And 30 years of automotive research.
We've got this really great relationship that gave us a pool of technology and engineering expertise that's hard to find elsewhere.
What's next for Windsor's influence on the future?
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. Stephanie is off tonight. I'm Michelle Maluske. Paying for parking at a local hospital is a controversial subject. Worse still is not being able to find a spot at the cancer center. Tonight, word that Windsor Regional wants to take that stress away. Joining me tonight with the details is our Chris Campbell. Chris.
Yes, Michelle, Windsor Regional Hospital is trying a new approach, using a staff parking lot on Kildare Road and a free shuttle service to get cancer patients right to the cancer center. And while the new option is being welcomed by some, questions remain about whether it will be enough to relieve the ongoing parking pressure around the hospital.
For Marilyn Bailey, parking issues have become part of the routine of her husband's cancer treatment. The Essex couple makes the trip to Windsor twice a week, and she says they sometimes have to arrive extremely early to get a spot.
When he has to come for blood work, we come early. He leaves the house at 10 after 6 so that he's here to get a parking spot, so that we're not here all day just for blood work.
The hospital says hundreds of patients visit the cancer center each week, and demand for the closest parking often exceeds capacity. Now patients have the option of parking at a staff lot on Kildare, a couple of blocks away, and take a free shuttle to the front door of the cancer center.
It's something that pains us every day. We all have loved ones that have had cancer or have had dealt with it and required treatment, and we absolutely sympathize. We know the last thing that these patients want to be doing is struggling to find a parking spot.
The hospital says the idea actually came from a patient.
Originally, we had wrongfully assumed, that patients wouldn't want to take a shuttle from a remote lot to access the cancer center. But engaging with the patients themselves, we heard that we'd love to use that service, and that's what really sparked this idea. So we're excited to launch that today and ramp it up into the fall.
But for people who live near the cancer center, the question is whether the new service will actually reduce the traffic and parking problems. Kevin Morrison lives across the street.
I doubt that will alleviate the problem. And there's people that drive in the out and out the in, and there's horn honking and car alarms going off all the time.
Ward 4 Councillor Mark McKenzie says the city and hospital are already talking about other ways to add parking around the Met campus.
We've been having conversations at the city saying, look, do we add parking on both sides of Kildare? Right now there's only parking on one side of Kildare, but there's a boulevard, so we could easily add parking year-round on both sides of the street. What about looking at Byng and looking at Alsace and some of the neighboring streets as well?
We're not stopping here. We're looking to roll out a potential second phase of this initiative in the fall in collaboration with the city. They've been amazing partners with us. They understand our pain, and we're hoping to announce more come this fall.
Officials say this is a short-term solution. The long-term plan is to address the problem at the new Fancy Family Hospital, where parking capacity is expected to double. The new shuttle service is available now for cancer patients and their support persons. Patients will need a parking permit from the cancer center to use the Kildare lot, and the shuttle service is free. Michelle?
All right, thanks so much for that story. Chris Campbell reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. Meantime, Windsor City Council is taking a closer look at its rules for short-term rentals. City Hall is going to review the current bylaw, including how principal residence requirements are verified. Ward 4 Councillor Mark McKenzie says some property owners are exploiting loopholes by listing homes under relatives' names, even though they don't actually live there. He says residents, particularly those in Walkerville, have raised concerns about party houses and other disruptions. McKenzie says the goal isn't to target responsible operators, but to tighten enforcement and ensure the rules are being followed. There is no date for when full council will take another full look at the bylaw. In Amherstburg, residents will have to wait a little bit longer to visit the town's new waterfront plaza. Officials say the opening is delayed to allow the turf to settle after heat waves earlier this summer. The plaza was originally slated to open this past weekend. Once finished, Phase 1 will include an outdoor amphitheater, a gathering space, and washrooms. Town officials are now hopeful the space will open August 26th.
We just have to make sure that it is the turf is properly established before we allow any residents in, because if they do start trekking on it, it just becomes more of a problem and it will never be fully established or have a beautiful park like we do in the other part of Kings Navy Yard.
Meantime, in Harrow, folks are upset about a newly restored community archway. The landmark leading to the Harrow Arena features the original Colchester South and Harrow Agricultural Society signs. But the addition of the Town of Essex logo on the pillars has sparked criticism from some residents who feel it takes away from Harrow's identity. Mayor Sherry Bondi says she understands the pride people have in the community and she's looking at options to better reflect that. She also plans to introduce a motion requiring council review of future gateway signs.
So it's not quite done yet, and I don't think we'll see any changes real quick. The main thing is we have the Harrow Fair and we enjoy what's here, and then follow along to see what happens at council and see if there'll be changes coming.
Essex County Council is set to debate policies for a framework around AI databases.
Looking at it from a county perspective makes a lot more sense, because we have to see where are they coming in Essex County, because, you know, we all live, work, and play here in Essex County.
County Council will debate studying measures and policies vulnerable to the development of a data center. If approved, staff will bring back a report, including plans for consultations with residents and Indigenous stakeholders. The development of data centers has been seen widespread pushback across the country. Concerns largely surround the heavy use of resources like energy and water. Town of Essex Mayor Sherry Bondi says she hopes the report will bring more information for future decisions.
We don't have a lot of information here about, their requirements. Has anybody been approached? So I can see that residents are concerned because we haven't been able to discuss any local data on it.
30 years ago, the future of the automobile was still being drawn with a pencil and a ruler. Today, it is being tested through artificial intelligence, virtual roads, and battery chambers, capable of recreating some of the most extreme driving conditions on Earth. CTV's Sanjay Maro takes us inside Stellantis' Automotive Research and Development Center as the Windsor facility celebrated its past while quietly engineering what comes next.
And this building behind me is one that many drivers in Windsor may have passed by without ever knowing what actually goes on inside. And that's partly by design. Much of the work here at the ARDC is kept under wraps because the vehicles being tested here may not see a driveway for many, many years. But for its 30th anniversary, Stellantis opened the doors, giving us a rare look at how Windsor has helped taking the automobile from the drawing board to the road ahead.
It allows us, of course, to test all our vehicles in real-world conditions.
This is the ARDC, Stellantis' Automotive Research and Development Center, a 93,000 square meter facility where roughly 800 people help design, develop, and test nearly every vehicle in the company's portfolio. And when this space opened in 1996, the ideas were big, but the tools used to bring them to life were much simpler.
In 1996, we still had designers that actually used pencil and ruler at some point. And we did evolve to our CAD and CATIA capability, but we still had some remnants of that. Everything was done by hand.
Now engineers can drive through Italy, Brazil, or Germany without ever leaving Windsor. But this is all more than a very expensive video game.
We're trying to protect the DNA of the vehicle, right? A Jeep is a Jeep because of whatever the performance is, the targets, right? We need to make sure that we have those targets.
To meet those targets, road rigs shake vehicles through millions of kilometers of simulated driving, while the brake lab brings them to a stop again and again, more than 900,000 times to date. The ARDC's newest chapter is electric. The center's new battery lab can test up to 63 packs and 132 cells at once in temperatures from -40 to +80.
What we wanted to do when we put this facility here was find, the best and brightest and a talent pool that we could leverage. And I think what we found ultimately is with the University of Windsor as a partner and universities across Canada, we've got this really great relationship that gave us a pool of technology and engineering expertise that's hard to find elsewhere.
From designs created entirely by hand to robot assistants, virtual roads, and the batteries of tomorrow, the tools have changed. But 30 years later, Windsor is still helping shape the future of auto.
The initial investment was $30 million for the facility, but since then we've grown to almost $2 billion and still growing. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to have at least another $500 million invested in this facility.
And the next evolution of work going on in this building is not just limited to what you saw in that piece. Officials say artificial intelligence is being used here at the ARDC to sort through enormous amounts of testing data, adding work that took engineers a week in the past can now be done in a matter of hours. Michelle.
All right, thanks so much for the story. Our Sanjay Mara reporting for us tonight. Another bright, sunny summer day. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with our first look at the weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. Good evening, folks. We're talking about that ridge of high pressure that kept things rather pleasant the last 24 to 48 hours. For the most part, much of the lower Great Lakes is still looking at a quiet evening. Sunny through to dusk, warm temperatures, close to 30 degrees in some parts of central and southern Ontario. And I think we'll be warm through to midnight, relatively speaking. Overnight temperatures near about 20 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow, sunny to start, increasing cloudiness towards the evening, and showers beyond that are a possibility. I'll break down the forecast and look to see if we'll be close to 30 degrees through to the weekend. That's coming up shortly. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Michelle?
All right. Thanks so much, Gary. We'll check in again soon. While contract talks continue behind closed doors, support for Essex-Windsor paramedics will be on full display outside. A rally is planned for tomorrow afternoon at the County of Essex Administration Building as negotiations reach what the union calls a critical stage. CUPE Local 2974 represents about 340 paramedics, filed a no-board report last month, meaning workers could be in a legal strike position as early as this Friday. Union leaders tell AM 800 News the rally isn't a protest, but a chance for the community to show support. It runs from 3:30 until 6 o'clock.
If anyone does intend on showing up, be sure to bring a chair, bring any type of activity that you want for your kids or your family. We just want to make it a peaceful, fun time for those to come out and show their support for their local paramedics.
A familiar face at Windsor City Hall is entering the race for mayor. Ward 1 councillor Fred Francis says he'll file his nomination papers this week. The three-term councillor, first elected in 2014, says he's accomplished the goals he set for his ward and now wants to focus on citywide issues like affordability and homelessness. Francis also says he'd scrap Ontario's strong mayor powers if elected, arguing residents need a greater voice in City Hall decisions.
For some time. I'll be releasing my platform over the next coming weeks. So obviously with the campaign, it's a marathon, not a sprint. But things I've already come out and said, no strong mayor powers. I will not use strong mayor powers. If elected, strong mayor powers will come to an end in the city of Windsor. We'll look to empower more councillors, obviously.
So far, two other candidates have officially entered the Windsor mayoral race, Benjamin Daniluk and Pat Pascutch. Incumbent Drew Dilkins has not yet announced if he'll seek another term. But this does take us to our question of the day. Do you plan to vote in the upcoming municipal election? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. On Friday, we asked if you have kids in daycare. 97% of respondents said no. Travel plans are still up in the air for many WestJet customers after that one-day strike and lockout involving flight attendants. The airline says it's now in, quote, recovery mode, and it's not clear when operations will be back to full speed. CTV's Rahim Ladhani gets us up to speed.
Camilo and Nim are part of a band and are trying to get to Seoul, South Korea, but WestJet isn't making it easy.
We got rebooked on an Air India flight that's like a 33-hour journey, like 23 hours in the air and then 10 layover. We just went to check in for that flight and we were told that we're not on it.
The airline strike lasted 30 hours, but it continues to have a ripple effect on travelers like Dan, who's stuck in Winnipeg.
Yesterday, Monday, early morning, I got a notice saying, you've been rebooked on Porter Airlines. And I went, okay, that's fine. And then I read that that flight's on Friday. Yesterday was 5 days.
The CEO of WestJet says, we know this disruption has been frustrating for our guests and WestJetters, and we're sorry for that. After 1 day on the picket line, WestJet flight attendants are back on board with a tentative deal. However, for travelers here at Toronto Pearson International Airport, the headache of not knowing how their trip may be impacted is almost as frustrating as if the strike was ongoing.
It's really not a good impression for the customers. You know, you have a lot of plans, hotels, Airbnbs and car rentals booked, and it's a ripple effect on your trip.
According to aviation analytics company Cirium, 925 WestJet flights have been canceled since August 1st. Today, that number is 16. For those who are still waiting to be rebooked, advocates advise to research your rights.
If WestJet is leaving you in a limbo, then you have every right as a passenger to buy yourself a ticket on a different airline on the assumption that WestJet is not fulfilling its obligations and then bill WestJet for the expense.
And remember this group heading to South Korea? Well, they've been rebooked again on a different airline for tomorrow.
We luckily will make it for our first tour date in Korea thanks to the hard work of WestJet. So we're going on a direct flight now with Air Canada tomorrow.
Rahim Ladhani, CTV News, Toronto.
Windsor's long-awaited Emancipation Monument is now complete. Officials cut the ribbon on the new display in Jackson Park this weekend, paying tribute to the city's Black history and past Grand Emancipation Day celebrations.
Representing safety, hope, and a chance to begin again.
We wanted to honor the history of the celebrations held here, along with the history of the Underground Railroad, Mr. Emancipation himself, Walter Perry, and the historic stage where Dr. Martin Luther King once spoke, which is, in fact, in this particular place here.
2, 1, cut the ribbon!
This is for everybody, as was the Emancipation celebrations back in the day. It wasn't a colorism, there wasn't nothing like that. Everybody celebrated together, so that's our goal.
My part of the progress was painting the 3 murals for this monument here. The 3 murals are depictions of the speakers, the parade, and of the entertainment in the park. Things that I remember, I recall, and why Emancipation meant to me. As Blacks, we celebrate the chance to say that we are free and we are progressing. It was about progress, but it was also about just being proud of ourselves.
Phase 2 is we're going to bring a statue of Walter Perry, a life-size bronze statue. We're going to be fundraising for it. We're going to have events all the way up until next year. I want them to feel that anything's possible. I want them to feel that we are a city of one.
Windsor is soon going to step back in time for a week-long celebration of our notorious past. Tourism, Windsor, Essex, Peely Island, and the City of Windsor are launching Prohibition Week, running August 17th to the 23rd. The event will bring the city's Prohibition-era history to life, with tours, tastings, entertainment, and special experiences, many offered free or at discounted rates. The week will wrap up with the Riverfront Speakeasy at the Legacy Beacon on August 22nd. Organizers say the goal is to showcase Windsor's unique history while giving residents and visitors a new reason to explore the city. Still ahead on Windsor's news leader as the clock ticks down on a new Canada-U.S. trade showdown. Ottawa's trade minister heads back to Washington. And a new poll is shaking up the Conservative leadership conversation. The surprising name that tops the list as a challenger to Mark Carney coming up. Ready to take a walk to another country? Tomorrow, the Gordie Howe Bridge's new multi-use path opens. Officials expecting big crowds. Will it happen? Tune in to find out. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is back in Washington today with the threat of more U.S. tariffs on a wide range of Canadian goods starting in 2 weeks. CTV's Joy Malbon now with what we are hearing about this latest trip.
Canada's trade team posted this the last time around, proof of their meeting with U.S. Trade Ambassador Jameson Greer. The talk so urgent, so sensitive, the Canadian delegation put out a statement saying they're back in Washington to talk some more.
We're in a hard set of talks right now. I certainly understand why Minister LeBlanc and Chief Negotiator Charette and Ambassador Wiseman are being very, very discreet and very cautious about what they say and do publicly. This administration has been mercurial. It is unpredictable at the best of times.
These talks unfolding against President Donald Trump's latest pressure tactic.
Mexico and Canada need us. We don't need them. The deal is important for them. It's not important for us.
As the clock ticks down to yet another Trump tariff, a threatened 50% aimed at Canadian goods, $20 billion in exports at risk starting August 19th. Retaliation, Washington says, for what it calls discriminatory Canadian treatment of U.S. goods. But having seen his fair share of hardball trade negotiations, former Finance Minister Ralph Goodale remains optimistic.
We're in the top 3 markets in the world for 47 of the American states. So obviously, despite the bluster, despite the arguments to the contrary on the American side, Canada is very critically important to the Americans.
Neither side, it seems, wants to blink first, and with little evidence of a breakthrough, at least the two sides are still talking. Joy Malbon, CTV News, Washington.
New data from Nanos research shows there is no obvious Conservative challenger to Prime Minister Mark Carney. In fact, the poll commissioned by CTV News shows the strongest contender to beat Carney is former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. So what does this mean for the party's current leader, Pierre Poilievre? CTV's Rachel Aiello has been analyzing the data.
No prominent Canadian Conservative could defeat Prime Minister Mark Carney. That's the big takeaway from a new poll commissioned by CTV News. It asked Canadians which high-profile Tory would have the best chance if they were leading the Conservative Party. And Nanos research found that the top choice was none of them, at 33%. 16% said former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. Just 15% said current Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre, while 11% said Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Nick Nanos said these findings contain both good and bad news for Poilievre's continued leadership.
He's not seen as a prime minister or a close challenger. That's the bad news. The good news is that it doesn't seem to be anyone in the bushes, the shadows, in the wings that people identify as a real alternative to Pierre Poilievre.
In the absence of a clear challenger, insiders say despite some infighting, no one is organizing to try and oust him.
I think what you're seeing with the Conservative side of the equation right now is the team rebuilding itself, which is why I think you're seeing Pierre have the space and the numbers to kind of have this operating room to figure out what's next.
Carney's continued popularity could also bode well for the trio of upcoming by-elections, said this former candidate.
I do think that the Liberals have a very strong chance of securing a win in almost all, if not all, of those by-elections. I think that at this point, it doesn't look like Canadians are looking for an alternative.
Adding to this, Nanos' latest ballot tracking shows the Liberals widening the gap, with 47% support over the Conservatives' 27%. The NDP, meanwhile, are sitting at 12.7%.
I think for a lot of middle-of-the-road voters and perhaps Conservatives that are a little progressive, Mark Carney actually has a lot of appeal.
Those I spoke to today said while these numbers set the Liberals up for a smooth fall, any misstep could bring the Prime Minister's prolonged honeymoon period to an abrupt end. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
The federal government just announced it's investing more than $2 billion to boost the military's satellite communications in the Arctic. It's all part of a pledge to defend, build, and transform the far north. CTV's Mike Lecouture has more on the investment and what it means.
The satellite controllers at Telesat are going to have a lot more eyes in the sky thanks to a multi-billion-dollar Canadian government contract. The Ottawa-based company is expanding its number of satellites from 156 to 225, and it's all to help Canada's military in the Arctic.
This capability that we're delivering them will be used to support jet fighters, aerial drones, Navy ships, forward operating bases.
The satellites will help expand the already existing network, and there will be a spillover effect for residents of the far north, where connectivity is a huge issue.
Backbone to Arctic security is going to be our ability to communicate in the Arctic, and this is it.
Retired Major General Scott Clancy is the former Director of Operations for NORAD. He says once it's up and running, the constellation of satellites will bolster defense across the globe.
Make sure that everybody has the communications they need to be able to fight and move and survive in the Arctic regions. That helps the United States, it helps the continent, and it helps NATO allies counter our adversaries.
Buying Canadian is one of the goals of the government's defense industrial strategy, but it's also to maintain sovereignty over the network, something that wouldn't happen if Canada went with Starlink, which is owned by Elon Musk.
The command and control and communications to be able to do that, therefore, need to be sovereign and not at the whim of someone else who can literally remove this, as we have seen in other conflicts.
The new satellites will be made by MDA in Montreal and are expected to be in service by early 2028. Mike Lecouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canada's main stock index was up today, while U.S. markets also surged. In Toronto, the TSX gained 575 points. And in New York, the Dow added 907, while the Nasdaq is up 671. The Canadian dollar dropped 1/5 cent today. And on commodity markets, gold gained $62 an ounce. Oil lost $4.57 a barrel. A troubling trend across Canada. More young people are reaching out for help, especially overnight. Coming up, why experts believe the demand is rising.
Thank you, Lori, for this great image. Our caterpillar friends warming up to the warm weather. We'll talk more about that trend coming up here on CTV News.
Not a cloud in the sky. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with our detailed look at the weather after what was a very sunny summer day.
Summer day, beautiful conditions, Michelle. Saw the moon. I love seeing a day sky that's clear and pollution count was low. Plus, seeing the moon during the daytime, I think, is always interesting. Clarity continues tonight. Air quality still good. Projected for tomorrow, reaching highs now that are seasonal, slightly above. Temperatures between 28 and 30 degrees are average for this time of the year. So we anticipate that to continue for tomorrow. And the good news is that we're not likely to see excessive humidity, but it will be a part of tomorrow's forecast. More on that in just a moment. Today's temperatures and humidities, the combination of the two, haven't been too problematic. We haven't seen any heat warnings in the lower Great Lakes for a couple of weeks now, so that's good. Temperatures across the prairies cooling off. Cooler air as well to our west. We are in the warm slot, anywhere from southern central and eastern Ontario through Quebec and headed towards the Maritimes. Ahead of this cold front is the warm air, and the ridge of high pressure is responsible for the clarity, right? The lack of cloud cover. So that's good news. Tonight, clear and quiet, and the wind is likely out of the south, if not southwest, a light, gentle breeze. The overnight conditions, I think, will be relatively calm. The rain, if we see it, will be coming for Wednesday afternoon. I think Tuesday overnight into tomorrow morning is relatively quiet and clear, but by the noon hour, we will see increasing cloudiness, the rains late in the afternoon. So the morning, tomorrow morning, isn't too bad. In fact, some models suggest sunshine dominates at least through, say, 3 or 4 p.m. And that's when we'll reach a high of about 30 degrees. And then it just clouds over through to Thursday and Friday. As we take a look at our Intercare Sal 7-day forecast, calling for temperatures to be near 28 degrees between Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent for Thursday, with some showers possible. Cloudy also on Friday, cooling off to 26. And then the weekends, a mixture of sun and cloud. A slight chance of showers both Saturday, Sunday. Temperatures 30 degrees apiece for both days. 30 on Monday, and a week from now, Tuesday, 28 and sunny. I think the umbrella nearby is a good way to go.
The cyclosporiasis outbreak in Michigan has now turned deadly. Health officials say the 2 victims both had underlying health conditions. The cyclosporiasis outbreak has been traced to lettuce from Mexico that was served at Taco Bell restaurants in 9 U.S. states. The contaminated lettuce is linked to about 2,000 cases, including at least 98 hospitalizations stateside. As of Friday, the Windsor-Essex County Health Unit had confirmed 24 cases of cyclosporiasis locally. Many of those people had recently traveled to Michigan. One of Canada's largest youth mental health organizations is sharing concerning new numbers. Officials with the Kids Help Phone say more young people are reaching out for support, especially in the middle of the night. CTV's Kathy Lee has the story.
Like many young people, Anjana Sudarshan says life can feel heavy.
Financial stress, relationships, school, work, just navigating life.
And sometimes one of the hardest parts is helping someone else through theirs.
I found myself alone in the middle of the night, navigating how I could support a peer that was facing a mental health crisis. And Kids Help Phone was there for me.
Kids Help Phone says more young people across Canada are reaching out for support. The increase has been significant, with overnight text conversations up 24% compared to last year. The nonprofit now receives a message about every 90 seconds. Kids Help Phone says social media is just one of many factors contributing to the growing demand for mental health support.
Geopolitical issues, from forest fires, flooding, from climate change, pressures from school, in addition to online bullying.
Donna Kosnick is a volunteer crisis responder and says it's not just young people looking for help.
I had expected that I would be texting mainly with young people, and a lot of my conversations are with adults. All the more reason why this service is so very important.
The Canadian Mental Health Association says it's also seeing more young people struggling.
We've been in a crisis for a while. And this just continues to reiterate the need for more services and supports.
Experiencing the benefits of support, Sudarshan now spends her time on the Youth Council with Kids Help Phone.
We're young people from across Canada that are working with the organization to not just provide advisory, but to directly inform and help develop those services.
The dedication to help make supports even stronger for the next young person who needs it. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
A Blue Jays era comes to an end. The moves shaking up Toronto's roster and what it means for the team's future. That story is coming up. Marineland has started the second phase of its whale relocation plan. The second phase will see 7 more whales move to SeaWorld's San Antonio location. The relocation comes just weeks after the shuttered tourist attraction successfully transferred 6 belugas to 2 different parks in the U.S. Marineland says the health, safety, and well-being of the whales remains its top priority throughout this journey. The park tried to move the animals to China last year, but was stopped by the federal government. Marineland closed in September 2024. It's been a disappointing season for the Toronto Blue Jays, and the team making it clear it's time for a change. The Jays were busy before the trade deadline, dropping some well-known players from the roster while adding a talented new pitcher. CTV's Mike Walker on how the moves are playing with fans.
Disappointed Blue Jays fans snapping a picture of Kevin Gausman's banner outside Rogers Center before it's taken down, marking the end of an era, with the starting pitcher traded to the Chicago Cubs.
Been such a fabulous player, for his career. I understand the team decision, as painful as it was.
Very sad. He's been fantastic for the Blue Jays for the 5 seasons. Loved watching him. Brilliant in the playoffs last season.
Gausman, who was one of Toronto's most reliable pitchers, played his final game for the Blue Jays on Saturday. The veteran pitcher, who is in the final year of his contract, received a standing ovation as he walked off the mound. Gausman's trade that included 2 prospects in return was widely expected.
Indicated earlier in the year that he might retire, so if you can get anything for him.
Maybe it was the right move for the team. They're in a bit of a tough spot, and it's definitely not easy.
The Jays also trading center fielder Dalton Varsho to the Houston Astros for starting pitcher Spencer Arrighetti.
Yeah, it's sad that the Jays are kind of retooling and losing a lot of the guys that brought us to the World Series.
Toronto also buyers at the deadline, acquiring pitcher Jose Soriano from the Angels. He's expected to reshape the starting rotation. But the Jays did give up 3 prospects in the deal.
That's a guy that can be a number 3 or a number 4 in your rotation easily. He was the American League Pitcher of the Month to start the year. He was great.
TSN Radio's Matt Cause says the trade signal Toronto is trying to stay competitive and retool for next season, following a campaign that has failed to meet all expectations after making it to Game 7 of last year's World Series.
This is not your classic rebuild. This is kind of a little bit in the middle. Try to get some prospects with the moving of guys, and then on the other side, look to bolster the rest of the team, which is what they've done.
Team always needs pitching. I think our team this season, to me, looks like we never got a good roll going.
The Blue Jays also acquired veteran starting pitcher Jameson Taillon from the Cubs. He's pitched for Canada twice at the World Baseball Classic.
Going to be a tough play here.
And utility infielder Josh Smith from the Texas Rangers, as well as minor league pitcher Josh Steffen, in exchange for rookie pitcher Adam Macko. Mike Walker, CTV News.
England's Football Association, commonly referred to as the FA, has joined Wales in withdrawing support for FIFA President Gianni Infantino's re-election bid. The move comes after his plans to sell off stakes in FIFA competitions, including the World Cup, to private investors. The decision was met by fierce resistance from stakeholders around the world. Infantino was forced to scrap the plan early Saturday after his senior advisor resigned. Well, it's almost time to check in on what's happening now. Tonight, I'm joined by Lauren Stallone. Lauren, what do you have for us today?
Well, we were speaking with the CEO of Stellantis today. We asked Trevor Longley about the CUSMA negotiations. We have his response when we return.
This
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Celebrate Windsor Essex Pride Fest at Lansbury Park, August the 7th to the 9th. Details at wepridefest.com. See you next time on Our Community.
Lauren, you said the president and CEO of Stellantis Canada shared some insight on what he's expecting from a new CUSMA deal.
Yes, Trevor Longley has been one of the more vocal advocates regarding the CUSMA renegotiations or the Canada-United States-Mexico agreement. Now, he says protecting open and free access to the U.S. market is critical, not just for today's auto industry, but for the long-term future of Canadian vehicle manufacturing. What he wants to see is stability.
Obviously, we make huge investments in both countries, and we want to make sure that those investments are situated in the right way to optimize what we try and do and have a profitable, productive business. And so we're looking forward to a little bit more clarity on ultimately what that's going to be. But again, that's not the one thing that's stopping us to kind of move forward with our business. Ultimately, we need to build and sell cars, and that's what we're focused on.
And we've got those details and more online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And Lauren, you also have some information for us tonight for anyone wanting to walk, run, or bike across the Gordie Howe Bridge tomorrow.
That's right. The Gordie Howe Bridge multi-use path opens tomorrow at 8 a.m., giving cyclists and walkers a free connection between Windsor and Detroit. The path stretches about 3 kilometers from border booth to border booth, rises 46 meters above the Detroit River at its highest point, and takes about 20 minutes to bike across or 45 minutes to walk. Officials are expecting big crowds at the start, so users are being asked to bring their documents and pack some patience. If you are crossing the bridge tomorrow on foot or on bike, send us some pictures of you so we can create a photo gallery. You can also text those to us at 10400. And in our social spotlight tonight, residents in Duluth, Minnesota woke up to a soapy surprise this past weekend. Someone turned one of Duluth's most recognizable landmarks into one giant bubble bath. Police say someone poured soap into the fountain of the Wind Friday night, sending foam spilling over the sides and onto nearby sidewalks. Crews had to shut down the fountain and call a city plumber for cleanup. The bubbly prank is now under investigation. Well, that looks like fun.
When I first saw that, it looked like yeah, it does. It looks like one of those foam parties when you go to a resort down south. That's what I thought it was. And then we got the wide shot with the police tape. Not quite as much fun.
Yeah, definitely a lot of cleanup. So that's something to think about if you're going to be doing that in a fountain anytime soon.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Thanks so much, Lauren. That's what's happening now. He set out to run 11 marathons in 11 days. But when an injury stopped him in his tracks, this runner found an unexpected way to finish. That story when we return. See, that's the weather we needed. Bright sun, a little bit of wind, nice and warm to dry everything out after that rain we got on the weekend.
Yes,
Holy moly.
I agree.
Yeah.
Beautiful conditions. I saw a lot of golfers out today. So
great day for that, too.
Oh, absolutely. Take advantage of it tomorrow, because I think we'll see a repeat performance, Michelle, especially in the morning and early afternoon, before the clouds start to move in. Pardon me, towards the late afternoon, evening. See a high of 30, feeling like about 34. And then Thursday, Friday, rain in the morning, rain in the afternoon, a possibility. I think it'll be cloudy both days. And then we're looking at temperatures around 30 degrees Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Showers for the weekend, a possibility, cloudy through to Monday. So temperatures averaging between Wednesday and Tuesday of next week near 29 degrees, which is just slightly above seasonal.
Yeah, it's definitely an August forecast for sure.
Definitely.
All right, well, thank you for that, Gary.
Okay.
And finally, for us tonight, if you've ever thought a 5K run was a challenge, wait until you meet the guy who's trying to cover more than 500 kilometers. And when an injury threatened to stop him halfway through, he refused to let it be the end of the journey. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has the story of one very determined runner.
cool.
Being stuck sitting down is the last thing Darren Kerr wanted when he came up with the idea of doing a big run.
Long distance running is just what I love to do.
It's why Darren set out to run the equivalent of 11 marathons in 11 days from the northern tip of Vancouver Island to the south.
I kind of feel free, kind of in the middle of nowhere, lots of beautiful scenery.
And following along the 500-kilometer route in this blue truck,
this is Bucky,
is Darren's one-man support team, William Savage.
I make sure he's watered and fed. I make sure he gets good sleep. You know, try to take off any stress so he can just accomplish his goal.
Which couldn't have been going better until the 6th day. It couldn't have gone worse.
Sharp pain. It hurt almost every moment that I stepped.
But Darren kept running for almost 100 kilometers more until the pain became unbearable.
But I knew I couldn't run anymore.
But he also knew he couldn't quit. This was a fundraiser for cystic fibrosis, the fatal childhood disease Darren was first diagnosed with when he was 3 months old.
The chest pain, the coughing, the breathing difficulties, I feel it and it's not fun.
It's a thick mucus that clings to Darren's lungs, forcing him to regularly end up in hospital and travel with more than 30 medications and lung cleaning equipment.
I can, through all that, still have, the biggest smile, and, everyone should have a friend like Darren.
Which is why William started searching for used bikes online before finding a cheap one.
There's no problems, there's only solutions.
So, despite zero experience with long-distance cycling, Darren committed to complete his goal and return to the road.
And I did 80 kilometers that day, which was insane.
And as Darren prepares to pedal the final 44-kilometer leg of his journey, he hopes that along with raising money, he raises spirits.
You don't have to limit yourself and put yourself in a box just because you're dealing with a health condition or whatnot. If you really want to do something, you can put your mind to it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Advice to live by there.
Yeah. What an
mind over
inspiration.
matter.
Oh, my goodness. And he was a cute kid. I kept thinking to myself, cute kid. And then you don't know from pictures when you look at what your life is going to end up being like. And here he is fundraising. Right from toddler, big
and
smile.
And not giving up on it.
Not giving up.
I'm sure he wanted to quit, for sure.
He had that smile on his face when he was just a little guy, and now he's done something tremendous and smiling through the pain and all
Words
of that.
to live by, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, on behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you so much for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
We'll see you then.